Wrong video. Sorry, guys.
Please welcome to the testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Okay, I'll need the old information. I want the defendant to be aware of what he was originally facing and what the new.
Now, I want all of y'all to remember on the first video that I put, he says that he was not guilty, that they dropped all the charges, right? That's what he said, that he did not plead guilty to none of those charges. That's what he said.
This is the new information. I didn't give it to you. Oh, I have one back here. All right. Okay, can you tell me your full name and date of birth?
Michael,
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder for purposes such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarships and teaching. Disclaimer, the views and opinions expressed on this video or any video, including the Writers for Life Brings You to Let's Talk About It podcast, do not reflects on the opinions of your Shorty Rachel and the members of the Writer for Life podcast. Everything we talk about is allegedly and is our opinion. Our videos are not recommended for minors. Everything we talk about and do is meant for educational purposes and also entertainment. Please keep in mind that the majority of our videos are for educational purposes only. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch thinking that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them
one.
Okay, I'll need the old information. I want the defendant to be aware of what he was originally facing and what the new information. This is the new information. I didn't give it to you. Oh, I have one back here. All right. Okay, can you tell me your full name and date of birth?
Michael Eugene Jr., August 10th, 1983.
All right, thank you. You were originally charged under case number F21-14438 with the following charges: lewd and lascivious molestation on a child, a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years state prison. Count 2 was lewd and lascivious molestation on a child, 12 to 16 years, a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years state prison. Lewd and lascivious conduct on a child under 16 by a defendant 18 or over, a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years state prison. Count 4, lewd and lascivious exhibition on a child under 16 years, defendant over 18, a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years state prison. And contributing to the dependency of a child, a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail. And then count 6 is interference with custody, a third-degree felony, punishable by up to 5 years state prison. The state has now filed an amended information today, charging you with the following: aggravated child abuse, great bodily harm, a first-degree felony, punishable by up to 30 years.
Now, do y'all hear on here how they said that he's being charged? But he said that he did not plead guilty.
Defendant over 18, a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years state prison. And contributing to the dependency of a child, a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail. And then count 6 is interference with custody, a third-degree felony, punishable by up to 5 years state prison. The state has now filed an amended information today, charging you with the following: aggravated child abuse, great bodily harm, a first-degree felony, punishable by up to 30 years state prison. Count 2 is aggravated child abuse, great bodily harm, a first-degree felony, punishable by up to 30 years state.
Yo, this man is being charged with felonies. They're not misdemeanors. This man is being charged with felonies.
Prison, and contributing to the dependency of a child, a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail. It is my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to this new information. You would be adjudicated guilty, and your
He will be adjudicated guilty.
sentence has been memorialized in a 4-page plea agreement. Did you have the opportunity to go over this plea agreement with your lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. I do need the defendant to initial each page because there are not initials on these pages. All right. Joack, that you have gone over.
But y'all heard him plead guilty to all of them charges, right? But yet, on the first video, he came out on a whole rampage talking about that can't nobody talk about his kids, that can't nobody jump out the window, that everybody's been misgiven information, this and that. But at the end of the day, sir, you were the one lying. If anything, you're making your case worse by coming online and harassing and coming at people because they're giving their opinions on what you did because you pleaded guilty on something you did. Man, listen, you don't deserve jail time. If anything, a handmade casket is 7 feet under fucking ground.
Over this plea agreement with your lawyer, and I want to go over it with you, not each and every aspect of it, but the major components of the plea agreement. But what I am going to ask is for the state to tell me the general terms of the plea agreement, and then we will go into the details on the contract. Go ahead.
Your Honor, the plea agreement includes an adjudication, 7 years of state prison followed by 10 years of reporting probation. As a condition of probation, the defendant will—
When you say 10 years probation.
10 years reporting probation. Okay. The defendant will complete the MDSO program. The defendant will not be allowed to have unsupervised contact with children. The defendant will have specific terms regarding where he may work and the ability to wear a uniform.
Yo, you know what's crazy? 7 years, right? That's all he's got. 7 years behind bars. But this victim, which in the future, with prayer, she'll become a survivor. This victim will have a lifetime of trauma. Even when she becomes a survivor, she will have a lifetime of trauma. All because this man right here couldn't be a man. He's not a man. He's a boy in a man's body. This monster right here sat here and took her innocence. Casket. That's what I got for you, a casket. Casket, 7 feet underground. I'm gonna start making them shirts. Caskets. Predators don't need to be behind bars. They deserve a casket. Being behind bars is still luxury. Like, you don't deserve to be rewarded. That's a reward. Yeah, for them, it's a reward. That's what it is, a reward.
There are additional terms of restitution, of which $5,000 has been agreed to be paid upfront within 24 hours, mailed to the to the victim, and additional restitution to be paid out on a monthly basis once.
Yo, money is not enough for what he has done. Money cannot pay for the damages he has caused this young lady.
He is out of custody. And that monthly amount is highlighted in the written terms of the plea agreement. Additionally, there will be a stay away order from victim TS and her mother, which is also mentioned in the plea agreement.
What is the total amount of the restitution?
The total amount of restitution is $25,000.
That's why he got that deal, because he's paying court and all that. Man, listen, man, money cannot buy what this young lady has been through. It cannot buy. If anybody catches the replay, anybody's in and out the chat, listen, let a Shorty know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that money could buy your child's innocence? Because in my opinion, I'm rocking that orange suit.
All right.
Council going to be providing probation with the proof of the $5,000 being paid?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. All right. Okay, so Mr. Nowak, the terms of the plea agreement are as what the prosecutor just stated, that you are going to be entering a plea of guilty to the 2 counts of aggravated child abuse and 1 count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. You will be adjudicated guilty, which is a criminal conviction on your record. Do you also understand, sir, that by entering into this plea that it may subject you to involuntary civil commitment proceedings set forth in Florida statutes 394.910 through 394.931? Do you understand everything that I've said thus far?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want to also...
So y'all understand, y'all hear that he says he understands what he is being charged of and what he is pleading guilty to. This nigga took a lesser plea.
advise you, sir, that you are going to be sentenced to 7 years in state prison to be followed by 10 years of reporting probation. In addition to any of these special conditions of probation, you will also...
Let me ask anybody, do y'all think 7 years is enough for what he did to this 7-year-old? Did y'all hear the mom's testimony? 7 years, though. That's all he gets. 7 years. I feel for this young lady, because what's crazy is the person that did what they did to me, he's free. All I got was an order of protection. That's crazy. Like, where is the real justice?
participate in and successfully complete a mentally disordered sex offender treatment program, that you are also not eligible. Okay, you may, according to the state, you may be eligible for early termination if all of the conditions.
Oh, wow. He may be eligible for early termination, which means he can go out there and I guess be just on the sex offenders list. Not a nice jacket, but still, like, yo, man, I just said that, like, yo, really though? And this is what he got for, he has just pleaded guilty to 2 charges of aggravated child abuse, rape, bodily harm, and contributing to delinquency of a minor. Only 7 years for them charges. I want to read the comments in a minute before I get to the next video.
Of your probation have been completed, that you have had no violations of your probation, and that you have not been arrested for any other criminal offense. Is that correct, Steve?
And to clarify, the terms stated in 5 is there is no prohibition on early termination. However, there is a requirement that any modification to this agreement be agreed by the state and the court.
Okay. All right, sir. Now, with respect to this plea agreement, I have on each page next to defendant's initials MN. Did you in fact affix those initials to each page?
I did.
And have you reviewed each and every component of this plea agreement going through page 1 and through page 4?
I have.
Now,
So I'm gonna pause it right here. And let me let y'all know that he just agreed to knowing what he's being charged of, to what he's pleading. He knows what's going on. So for him to come out with that first video that I showed y'all, for those of you all that haven't, you know, that are just coming in or just coming in and out, because listen, yo, this man is crazy. You knew you pleaded guilty, but you sat here and said all charges dropped. Hashtag mental health is serious.
now it says on page 4, having read the above mentioned terms of this plea agreement and having been advised by my counsel, David Tarras, I, Michael Noak, freely and voluntarily enter into this plea agreement and agree to abide by all terms and conditions of this plea agreement, and agree that failure to comply with any terms or conditions within this agreement constitutes a violation.
Which he is doing recently by going on social media and attacking bloggers and anybody that is speaking on his story. Anybody that he doesn't agree with what they're saying. So that right there also counts as part of, violating the terms and conditions. That's why I keep saying that he's only making his situation worse anyways. Because he's already violating the terms and conditions from the judge. Not the lawyer, the judge. My bad.
Of probation and subjects me to be sentenced to the statutory maximum penalties provided by law for the crimes for which.
Yeah, supposedly that's the statutory maximum. That's all 7 years is all they give. Isn't there a way to change that? I'm gonna do a part 2 to this because it looks like I'm gonna end up doing a part 2. Yep, I'm gonna do a part 2. Hopefully, I can do it today. Hopefully. Let's see how it goes.
I am now pleading guilty. And then it has a signature over the name Michael Miller. Is that in fact your signature, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I am now going to place my signature on this plea agreement in that I am now going to be ratifying this plea agreement as negotiated between the state of Florida and your attorney. Has anybody, including your lawyer, told you anything differently than what I just told you?
No.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication affecting your ability to understand me?
No.
Is anybody forcing, threatening, or coercing you to enter into this plea?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, the entry of this plea will have negative immigration consequences, including deportation and removal?
Understand.
You had the right, sir, to have gone to a jury trial where your lawyer had the ability to compel the attendance of witnesses on your behalf, the ability to confront and cross-examine the witnesses and evidence against you. You had the right to testify just like any other witness or remain silent, and your silence could not have been used against you if you went to a jury trial. You also had the right to appeal any mistakes that I would have made during the course of the trial, and the right to hold the state of Florida to the burden of proving these charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand, sir, that by entering into this plea, that you are giving up all of these rights?
So at the end of the day, this man knew he had rights. He could have sat here and said that he was innocent and fought this case all the way through. But thanks to Tanya TKO, we're going to hear a little more, and I'm going to react to her live. It's crazy, right? Calls himself an influencer.
And we will not have a jury trial.
I do.
Have you discussed this plea with your lawyer?
Yes,
Has he answered all of your questions?
absolutely.
This bitch owe me.
My bad. Now that was about to go into a whole other into a whole other video. All right, so let's take this off, and I want to go to the Tanya TKO reaction.